The governments of Russia, China, and North Korea have recently threatened to use their weapons of mass destruction if the United States continues to intervene in their internal affairs. In response, the US government has taken measures to protect the president and his cabinet in case of a nuclear outbreak. One of these measures is the use of the Doomsday plane, an aircraft designed to serve as an airborne command post for the government and military. This plane, which is worth approximately $200 million, can remain in the air for days and can withstand the electromagnetic pulse of nuclear explosions. However, there have been reports of some of these planes performing unusual maneuvers, which has caused concern and increased tensions between the nations involved. Airborne Command Post. In the final days of World War II, the first two nuclear weapons were used, marking the beginning of a new era, the atomic age. In 1949, the Soviet Union conducted its first successful nuclear test, and the possibility of a nuclear confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union became a reality. This led to an ongoing nuclear arms race between the nations. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction, MAD, emerged, which involved a full-scale use of nuclear weapons by an attacker. As a result, both the US and Soviet chains of command began to think about how they would react to such an outcome if they were the defenders. The Post-Attack Command and Control System, PACS, was the American solution to this problem. PACS was a network of air and ground communication sites that could be used before, during, and after an autonomic attack on the US. It ensured that the Department of Defense would have total control of the country's nuclear arsenal to counter an attack effectively. General Thomas S. Power, who was in charge of the Strategic Air Command, believed that it was possible to have continuous command of the nuclear arsenal in an airborne platform equipped with the latest communications tools to retaliate against the enemy, even if the ground headquarters were destroyed. This idea led to the creation of PACS, which utilized one specific asset of the Strategic Air Command, the Looking Glass. The Looking Glass was a modified Boeing 707 aircraft that served as an airborne command post for the US government during a nuclear war. It was designed to be an airborne backup of the PACS system and could operate for up to 12 hours in the air. The Looking Glass was equipped with advanced communication tools that allowed the president and other top officials to communicate with military commanders in the event of a nuclear attack. Overall, PACS and the Looking Glass played a critical role in ensuring the US had a reliable and effective system to respond to a potential nuclear attack during the Cold War. Operation Looking Glass. The Looking Glass mission was initiated on February 3, 1961, several months before the failed Bay of Pigs invasion, which was supported by the CIA and the infamous Cuban Missile Crisis. The operation was carried out in accordance with the guidelines of the Presidential Emergency Action Committee, PACS. Operation Looking Glass was the code name given to an airborne command and control center that was operated by the highest-ranking military officials of the United States. The mission was named after its similarities with the command and control functions of the underground Strategic Air Command headquarters situated at the Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. Initially, the aircraft used for Operation Looking Glass were 5 modified Boeing KC-135A Stratotankers. One of them was kept in the air 24 hours a day to ensure the continuous flow of communication between the underground base and the Doomsday plane. These aircraft were airborne from February 1961 until July 1990, when they were put on ground alert 24 hours a day. The primary objective of Operation Looking Glass was to provide total command and control of the US nuclear arsenal in the event of a nuclear attack that would render ground command centers inoperable or jeopardized. The operational commander aboard the Looking Glass aircraft, serving as the Airborne Emergency Action Officer, had the authority to launch retaliatory nuclear attacks if the National Command Authority deemed it necessary. However, it is important to note that in the early 2000s, the National Command Authority term was modified to explicitly state that only the President or the Secretary of Defense had the authority to order a nuclear strike. With the introduction of newer aircraft like the Boeing E-4 Nightwatch and the Boeing E-6 Mercury, the purpose of Looking Glass changed. Nevertheless, the Looking Glass mission remains an important part of US military history, showcasing the country's commitment to maintaining its nuclear deterrence capabilities and ensuring its national security. Boeing E-4 Nightwatch. The US military is known to operate a number of Doomsday planes, and one of them is the Boeing E-4 Nightwatch, which is still in service today. The Night Watch is a modified Boeing 747-200B that serves as an airborne command post for the National Command Authority and is designed to protect the President and his cabinet in the event of a nuclear outbreak. The aircraft is estimated to cost around $200 million and is regarded as a flying war room due to its advanced capabilities. The Night Watch has a maximum capacity of 112 people who can be accommodated across 3 decks. It can fly for over 12 hours and can stay in the air indefinitely if refueled by air. The aircraft's flyout time is said to exceed $160,000, making it even more expensive than the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. The aircraft's windows are covered with a special wire mesh that can protect the interior from a nuclear blast. Additionally, the radome, which is a small hump at the front of the aircraft, houses advanced radar systems and antennas. The President and senior military personnel occupy the front section of the aircraft, while the upper section provides room for 20 Air Force personnel to sleep and relax. The aircraft also has a secure conference room where the President and his cabinet can issue war orders, and a briefing room where the rest of the staff can convene. The Battle Staff Room, which is located at the midsection of the aircraft, serves as the primary communications network with other ground bases. The aircraft's rear section houses the Communication and Technical Control Room, where personnel can communicate with anyone in the world. The National Airborne Operations Center comprises 4 Night Watch E-4S and operates from Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. Despite its advanced capabilities, not much is known about the true capabilities of the Night Watch, and it remains a highly classified asset in the U.S. military's arsenal. Boeing E-6 Mercury. The Boeing E-6 Mercury, formerly known as the E-6 Hermes, is an airborne command and control center that entered service in July of 1989. It replaced its predecessor, the EC-130Q, which was primarily responsible for executing operational looking glass. The E-6 Mercury operates similarly to the EC-130, but serves as the nexus link between the National Command Authority and all the ballistic missile submarines that house nuclear systems. This operation is known as TACAMO, which stands for Take Charge and Move Out. The Mercury is capable of remotely controlling and launching Minutemen intercontinental ballistic missiles if necessary, using the Airborne Launch Control System. The aircraft has a sophisticated communication system that can reach up to 60 feet below sea level, making it possible for submarines to pick up messages and transmit them. However, this secure data transfer has technological limitations. The rates to transfer information are slow, giving priority only to short emergency messages, and to receive the transmission, both vehicles require a considerable number of antennas. The Mercury's primary antenna is over 5 miles long, and a shorter one is deployed via an opening on the aircraft's tail. When the submarines are fully submerged and do not want to be spotted in the open ocean, a VLF antenna with a buoy can be launched from the depths. Once it reaches the surface, the submarine can remain hidden while receiving the messages. On December 13, 2019, a lone E-6 Mercury was spotted practicing a VLF communications deployment maneuver near the Jersey shore. These strange maneuvers often last a couple of hours, ensuring the messages are transmitted correctly without interruption. Consequently, mid-air refueling becomes an essential process as the Mercury burns a significant quantity of gas with every turn. A new Doomsday. In February of 2022, the war between Ukraine and Russia broke out, causing a significant impact on the international community. In response to the conflict, President Joe Biden, along with other NATO leaders, gathered in Brussels to discuss the situation in Eastern Europe. However, tensions escalated in March when a US Doomsday warplane was spotted flying over the skies of Europe as part of President Biden's security fleet. According to some experts, this move was a direct response to President Putin's threats of using nuclear weapons if foreign powers intervened in the ongoing conflict. The aircraft was seen circling over a region north of Cambridge and appeared to be heading towards the Royal Air Force Base at Milton Hall. The escalating conflict has reportedly prompted the US Congress to approve the Air Force's 2023 budget request. It is said that Putin's nuclear threats have created enough tension to prioritize the development of a replacement for the E-4, which the USAF started developing in 2021. However, budget constraints have continually slowed down the progress of the project. The situation in Eastern Europe remains a significant concern for many countries, and the international community is closely monitoring the developments. President Biden's security measures, including the use of the Doomsday warplane, indicate the gravity of the situation and the need for urgent action to ensure stability and safety in the region. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to find more exciting content. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of our newest videos.